The Eagles came to play. Jalen Hurts came to play. Everybody was talking about his knee, if his knee was going to be healthy, if he's going to be able to compete with Jaden Daniels and outduel and outplay Jaden Daniels. But he ran touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. And I haven't even gotten into Saquon Barkley in his first 60-yard touchdown early in the game. The Eagles' front seven are a different front seven. Dealing with Jalen Carter down after down after down. You saw how beastly Davis could be when he can get to the quarterback. I mean, this front seven is as dangerous as any front seven in football. By the way, this was the number one front seven in all of football all season long. They were dominant defensively. We saw what Mitchell could do. We saw what Dijon could do. We've seen what Slay can do. This secondary has been as good as it's been all season long. And after going 2-2 in the beginning of the season before their bye week, there were a lot of questions. Is this defense going to hold up? Is this defense going to get along? Is this offense going to get along with each other in the locker room? The old A.J. Brown situation. Boy, did A.J. Brown show up this week. Did he not? 6 receptions, 96 yards, a touchdown. It was sensational. Everybody was playing up to par for the Eagles. And then Saquon Barkley, 15 carries, 118 yards, 3 touchdowns, absolutely dominant. And nothing was better than the 60-yard run in the first quarter that showed everybody why this guy has been as dominant as he's been all season long. Nobody can say anything. And if you look at the list of players the Eagles landed and brought in the offseason, they had one of the best offseasons we've seen a GM have. We all know what this team has done over the last couple of years, these Georgia players, and boy, oh boy, they didn't lie. This team, they're dogs. Every single, they are literally dogs. It didn't matter. They were barking at the end of the game. But boy, oh boy, when the Eagles kicked it into gear, boy, they kicked it into friggin' gear. It was fun to watch. The one thing that really stood out to me is Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni after the game hugging, obviously, the GM, hugging the owner. And there's a lot of questions.
And they wanted to fire him.
Yeah, they did. And there was a lot of questions. Does he have this team? Is a team following him moving forward? Are they going to actually have a good season? There were a lot of mistakes early into the season. They were 2-2 at one point.
Mm-hmm. And they almost lost to the Browns.
And they winded up 17-3. They only lost one more game after that. That says a lot about Nick Sirianni. I have taken shots at Nick Sirianni. I don't like his personality on the side, on some of the things that he does to the other players and the other teams when they come on their field, flapping his wings when they score. That's disrespectful. But nevertheless, it seems like the players follow him. They like him. They think that his energy on the sidelines really works for this organization. And it says a lot about this team as an organization. If the Eagles stay pat and they are what they are this year, how are you going to beat them next year? Their defense is getting better. They're young. They're energetic. They don't really die down or talk down to anybody except their own teammates. We've seen what they do on the sidelines when they're yelling at each other. How about Braun? How about that signing in the offseason? I mean, that came out of nowhere, and he has been a sensational defensive priority for them this year as a linebacker. I will say this. The depth of the Eagles defense is the best I've seen in over 15 years. The last team defense I've seen with this kind of depth all around is the Broncos. If you look at what Von Miller and Wolf and all those guys in the secondary, Champ Bailey, all those guys, that was a sensational defense. And to me, and that was at Champ Bailey's at the end of his career.
Yeah, he was like the third corner.
Yeah, he was the third corner on that team. Champ Bailey, one of the greatest corners to ever play the game. He was a third type of player. When you look at that defense, and everybody's going to tell me, well, what about the Seattle Seahawks? What about them, the Legion of Boom? The Legion of Boom was good. Their secondary was great. Their front seven was It wasn't great. It was good. It wasn't great. When I remember that Broncos defense, when they played Carolina in the Super Bowl, that was one of the best defenses, all-around defenses I've seen. And they had how many Hall of Famers on that line? I mean, there was 2 defensive line front guys right over there that are Hall of Famers, no question. Their secondary, they probably have 2 guys in their secondary. It's incredible. And their linebacking core was pretty damn good too. I mean, it was fun to watch. I mean, the Eagles are young. they're going to be good. They're going to be good for many, many years. Giant fans, you're going to have to contend with this team for a very long time. And Saquon has another 2 years left with that contract. Does anybody want to see this again next year? And I'm going to tell you this right now. If Saquon wins this year, it's not going to be enough for him. This is the kind of guy. Did you see what he said at the end of the game? He says, yeah, I had a good game. He says, but I'm not out to win an NFC championship game. I'm out there to win the whole thing, the whole kit and caboodle. That's what we're here for. We're not here for second place. We're here for first place. And that's what you want to hear from one of your leaders, one of your best players. It is fun, man. I love it. And this is something that you want to see. And I want to see the Kansas City Chiefs go down. The last time I can compare this to was the New England Patriots. How about Mekhi Becton?
Yeah.
Mekhi Becton, who the Jets gave up on, and he becomes a guard over there with the Eagles and becomes practically a Pro Bowl guard. I mean, did you see when Saquon scored that touchdown and they were doing their stupid little dance in the sidelines? I mean, I don't like to see that because I'm a Jet fan, and I know Giant fans don't want to see that because, but I root for the Eagles, so I'm not upset that Mekhi Becton is over there on my second team. So I love what I see. I love the camaraderie, and I don't care what they say, what's going on with that team. Maybe it was just somebody that was playing for the Jets this year, and it was nobody else. Maybe he was the cancer in that locker room, and he was the one, and he was the cause of the problems for that organization. Nevertheless, the fact is they came out this year, and they had a plan. And their plan was to go to the Super Bowl and play the Chiefs, the Bills, or whoever the hell they were matched up against and knock them off. And I think they're going to go in on Sunday, February 9th, Super Bowl 59, and they're going to show the KC Chiefs who really is the dominant team and who is the champion this coming season.